2 points. They're on the whole. Yeah, a bit like Colin. Find the line. No, wait, too late. Line.
Yeah, the scoreboard flooded you a little bit there.
I'm not happy this morning. Still 24 hours.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to coverage of Round 6 TSL. A massive clash in store for you here this afternoon. It's a grand final rematch. The Kingborough Tigers taking on North Launceston, a top of the table showdown. The defending premiers Kingborough up against the current ladder leaders and early pace setters, the Northern Bombers. A massive 4 points on offer here this afternoon. Really looking forward to calling the action here. I'm Andrew Calling, and joining me in the bunker for this one here this afternoon is Mitch McPherson. A very good afternoon, Mitch.
Good afternoon, Andrew. Great to be here. Yeah, as you said, top of the table clash. Kingborough, slight blemish against Clarence a couple of weeks ago, but other than that, it's been smooth sailing, and we know how smooth North Lonnie have been sailing, so this is a great match-up and very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, North Launceston emerging as the early pace setters. Super impressive last week against a Clarence team that had started the season well, gave them an absolute touch-up, probably could have won by more, dominated that match, and a few players out for Kingborough from that grand final side. I fancy the Bombers here this afternoon. It's going to take a mighty effort for the Tigers, especially without that man Jack Tompkinson in the middle today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously the home ground advantage is the only thing that sort of evens it up a little bit, but I do believe North Lonnie might be a little bit too strong, but the start is going to be telling.
Absolutely, and we're not too far away from that start. Should be a cracking encounter here this afternoon. The Tigers, well, they need 4 points. If the Bombers get another win today, they'll have a handy early break, a massive percentage, and if they get home field advantage in the North through finals, watch out. We're underway as Lee and Gardner, Jewel in the middle. Lockie Clifford will give the Tigers first use. He sends them inside the forward 50. Zeitzen and Bennett. Bennett spiked it away. Through some traffic with Sulzberger, got it back to Bennett, now over the top to Nicholas. Nicholas found Stingle, who runs down the wing. What's he got ahead of him? Just holds up a second, then guides one into the half-forward line, just down front of Avent, and Brereton was across to put it out of play. Big job for Marcus Gardner in the ruck today, in the absence of Tompkinson. It'll be Agana supposed to him at this stoppage. Gardner won it down over the top. Good pressure there from Stingle, but Clifford able to manufacture a kick forward. Went straight though to Sulzberger. He sends him inside the forward 50, and that's a nice intercepting mark. Taken in defence there, just coming over the top of Avent. Called to play on. Sort of speared one, he found Zeitzen. Some pushing up the ground. Bit of an ugly looking kick. Picked off there by Nicholas. Cox Goodyear getting involved. Alex Lee, the senior leaders in this side. Nicholas back to Lockie Mitchell. Returns to the side today after a couple of weeks out. Lockie Mitchell, a real key down back for the Bombers. Through the middle, they go through Oscar Van Dam. One of the form players of the competition, Van Dam, as that one's just fumbled out of play.
Really got their hands on the footy at Kingborough. Haven't had an opportunity. North Lonnie taking control in the early stages, but
back into play. Knox boundary side. Sulzberger working his way to the front. Lovell for the high contact free. Wasn't initially forthcoming, but he will get it eventually.
umpire didn't see it, but he made sure that he saw it afterwards, the downfield umpire.
So Lovell just chips it in short, and they'll look to make their way up the wing. Guided kick won't quite, it does find Ashland in the end. Watt gets caught with the footy, just got it away in time. Now on top of it, Baker. On top of him was Stingle.
couple of unusual array kicks from Kingborough too. Got to get the skills on so early in the game. Conditions aren't too bad. A couple of shanks early, not helping.
Lee just smashes that one to the outside of the contest. Bradley Cox-Goodyear turns onto the trusty left foot and drives it down the line. Harvey Griffiths presenting up, but it was caught just behind. Split though off the chest of Godomski. Kick into the middle, picked off by Harry Bales. Bales kicked it, took a deflection to the path of Chug, then an awkward bounce over the top. Van Shannon back in the team, wouldn't sit for him. Griggs able to get the ball out of there. Switches up with a beautiful kick and he finds Lovell, who looks to buy 50 metres. In caught high. Umpire says nothing doing. So Lovell down the line for Gardner. Lee comes over, uses those long levers to spike it out of play.
Lovell coming for a spell, couple of blows to the head, I think, in the first 3 minutes. So off for a quick rest and a quick readjustment.
He certainly knows he's in the game early on.
Yeah, he's awake.
They brought the physical contact to the Kingborough Star early on. Lee just tries to paddle that one down. Van Dam couldn't gather cleanly. Still in dispute. Here's Skeen, flicked it over the top. Picked off though by Stingle. He then turned it straight over. Now chipped in to the forward line where all in his own is Connor Salter.
Well, it's fair to say it's been a bit of an untidy start from both sides. Skills aren't at the level that they both would have liked to carry into the opening 4 minutes of the game. So it's who can make the most of the opportunities early, and Kingborough with a shot on goal, their first shot at goal.
Can Connor Salter take advantage of this opportunity? Kicking around about 45-degree angle. From about 40 out, sends it on its way, floats awkwardly across the face, won't trouble the scorers. Off hands for a full in. Not sure if he just didn't catch that cleanly or it was the wind, maybe both.
Looked like it, a little bit of toe involved, and I reckon the wind's got hold of it a little bit. Bit of a swirl happening down here at the Twin Ovals.
Tyler Carter to do the forward 50 ruck work. Alex Lee works his way to the front, couldn't make contact with the football. Van Dam scoops the handball for Simpson, just paddles it out in front. Golding tracking it, Simpson has a hold of him. And Webb comes in, and we have ball up. Gardner and Lee decisively. By hand, Van Dam got it to Simpson. Simpson kicks through the corridor, just puts it out into space. Opportunity perhaps here for Jack Avent. Arches the back, just tries to buy some time because he had nothing in the forward 50 ahead of him. Did well just to hold up, get it to Cox-Goodyear. He sends it inside 50, through hands, out the back, and now Clifford can clear the area. But he sends his kick too wide for Zeitzen, who's really working hard up the ground early on.
See that a lot down here. Oh, there's a bit of a clash there. Down here at the Twin Ovals, when the ball's kicked out on that far side, the wind gets underneath it, and it's very quick to be either out of bounds on the full or races out for a boundary throw-in. So it can be a safety net at some stage.
Lee palms down. Lee went back in, got the handball out. Van Dam, Cox-Goodyear had to go on the non-preferred. That was quickly shut down.
Van Dam getting his hands on the footy nice and early. Even Cox-Goodyear, as you said, a couple of stalwarts around the footy, good heads over it.
Leads the league in disposals this year, Oscar Van Dam, back from an off-season stint training in the Sandful, I believe. He's been really impactful. By hands, they work it across to Ashland. Sends a kick for College, stretches, and off hands is the umpire's call.
There's that breeze, just carries it a metre more than what it would normally, the trajectory of the ball would normally go out there. You've got to be careful. Low, keep the ball low into that breeze.
Arm down. Nash. He's wrapped up immediately.
It's not the shootout we hoped for in the first 7 minutes, Andrew. It's a very slow pace, messy sort of style game so far.
See if it breaks open, but could be one of those days where goals are at a premium. Sharp hands there from Nicholas, and now they're away through Kerr. From the bullseye, he'll send them inside the forward 50. Aganis, strong in the air. Big Tony Aganis, and he can go back for the Bombers' first of the afternoon.
Well, I was about to say, he had a couple of forwards there that weren't really leading, and I thought it was a pretty ordinary kick, but then when you see Big Aganis put those dukes up in the air, you can think, well, fair enough, just sit it up there and let him do the rest. So it could be a powerful tool if he can manage to get his hands on that like that all day.
Not too often Ben Donnelly gets beaten in those situations, but Aganis no one truly claimed that one. How's the kick? A stuttering approach, but the kick is through the middle, and the Bombers get the first of the afternoon after 8 minutes. You
have a Josh Kennedy approach there from Aganis with the stutter, and didn't look amazing off the boot. But yeah, you just mentioned that goals might be a premium today. 8 minutes in, finally we've hit the scoreboard. So it's going to be a battle of that who can be obviously accurate when you get an opportunity, if it's going to be one of those days where it's hard to get it down there. But it is early stages and two quality sides, so I imagine it'll break open, as you said, very soon.
Always tough to know how significant a factor the wind is at this ground too. Often a difficult one to judge till half-time as Lee reaches over, won that down nicely, but Baker was in there. Well, Ashland rather was buffeted off the football. Nash met solidly with Baker, and it fell to Avent. He curls one inside the forward 50. The relieving mark was taken by Hamish Watt. Plays on quickly across the face. A good kick finds Joey Brewer. Doesn't have much on. He likes Brewer, so just wheels out to the right and kicks it to a contest. Bales and then Bennett both getting fists in there. That's going to be in the back on Kerr. Advantage paid. Charging through the contest was Nicholas. Gave it to Bales. Bales into the forward pocket. Good spoil from Griggs. Got across to get it away from Ahern.
Interesting to follow Kingborough's exit out of defensive 50. Gone wide both occasions, so it'd be interesting to keep an eye on whether they continue to do that. North Lonnie setting up beautifully behind the ball. Players at the fall of it, ready to transition it back in. So it'd be interesting to see if they maintain that.
Giannis wins it down. Tight to the line. Griffiths was there. Lovell in a phone box. Now Cox Goodyear snapping from the pocket, but snapping out of bounds on the full.
Those trees are swaying a little bit. They seem to be swaying both ways, though, Andrew, so it's hard to judge, but you can definitely tell it's affecting a bit that's happening down here at the Twin Ovals.
Cox Goodyear kick touched a hand, so a forward stoppage opportunity instead for the Bombers. Aganis and Gardner. Neither ruckman able to get there. Aganis with strength, handed off, snap around the corner. Donnelly playing goalkeeper, denies Jack Avents. Right on the line, Ben Donnelly. Kicks it up towards Skeen over the top of his hands. Here's Jake Nash, brother of Bo, into the side today. He just chips it short. And he finds Harvey Griffiths.
Our man.
Well, he is a talent, but this will take some kick from this pocket. Looks like he's going to take it on. He's a goal kicker, Harvey Griffiths.
He's about to make a mockery of us talking about the conditions if he drills this.
So Griffiths from 48. He work it back. He never really gave it a chance out of bounds on the full there. Tigers to take over in the back pocket. Chip kick from Clifford. And the man in the back pocket, Griggs. Griggs now spearing one down the line. A poor kick, a rare error there. Found Harry Bales, and Bales moves it quickly, looking for Leary through his hands. Griggs goes back in after it. On top of him's Ahern. And got him over the shoulder. The Bombers dialing up the pressure here. Griggs. They do a better job exiting defensive 50 this time. Over a couple of heads there. College got a hand on it. Cox Goodyear somehow released the handball to Ives.
Throw.
Yeah, the umpires said he released it with a throw.
Well, it is early, but they've got to find a way, Kingborough, don't they? It just keeps coming straight back into their defensive 50, so they've got to find a way to chip it round, work through this defence. That's not going to help.
Looking for Lovell. He was set a task here. Now has to get rid of it. Does. Retreated back to Griggs. He just slaps it on the boot. Baker stood under it, was strong under pressure from Bennett. He plays on quickly. Handball to Webb. Bit of an ugly one, but they keep it moving through the middle now through Lockie. Clifford. The next handball over the top to Godomski. It's Carmichael, rather. He kept working it on. They tow it towards the goals and it bounces through.
Oh.
Well, how about that? And in the end, I think it was Max College who's got there first of the afternoon.
That was hands down one of the ugliest plays of football we've seen this season, but it worked. Every handball, nothing was accurate. Handballs on the ground, not to advantage at all, but they just continued to will it. And credit to them. That's a great way. Just keep pushing forward. Obviously, the pressure was on North Lonnie on their tail the whole way, but they found it. Don't know how he kicked that. It just bounced the right way. A little bit of luck in that, but that's it. Surge footy, get it going, link up, find a way through the North Launceston defence.
Yeah, a bit of ball in motion. Took the game on there and got a couple of fortunate bounces, but that can happen. Certainly not the first Tigers side to make a successful strategy of just getting it forwards at all costs.
That's right. Well, this breeze wreaks havoc. You've got to keep the ball low and just surge it through.
So Lee, umpire says over the shoulder, free kick to Alex Lee. Took it quickly, sent them deep in the Aganis direction. Couldn't quite reel that one in. Donnelly retreating back to Clifford. Usually composed. This kick, no exception. Found Joey Brewer tight to the line. Brewer gets it moving quickly to Brereton. Brereton punches a low one out to Webb. No play here from the Tigers. They go back inside to Godomski. The Bombers now well set up. Godomski. See your bodies wide there. Gardner, the biggest of them, couldn't quite take the mark. He paddled it across cleverly to Evans. As Lovell got his kick away, the boundary line wins out.
It just shows the importance of North Lonnie setting up there when Kingborough do want to move it sharp and short. They had no opportunity, no other option then but to go down the line, and obviously North Lonnie are going to get strong numbers there being set up.
Lee palmed it down beautifully. Cox Goodyear. Pressured by Webb, just impacted the kick. Out onto the roof it goes.
Get the ladder out.
And I can see shuffling off to grab that one. Play ball retrieval. Slight delay whilst we wait. At a quarter of an hour in here, 1 goal apiece, and certainly an afternoon where scoring looks difficult. The windy conditions making life tough. Competitive start to the game. Bombers probably shading things. That's an ugly looking kick. Almost found its way through to Baker. Carmichael goes in through the legs. Nicholas tries to interject. Back to Alex Lee. Lee just a bit too heavy with the kick. Intercepted. Chipped over the top. Carter presenting there. But taking the juggling mark was Sam Evans. All one for his trouble, but crucially held on to the football.
Yeah, it was a good mark. Yeah, it was a pretty dangerous kick, wasn't it? Just a bit of a panic kick there. You're looking to get it out of defence and just bombed it up into the middle of the ground. It's always a worry there unless it's an accurate hitting the target. Just brought Kingborough back into it, and they made the most of their opportunity, shot on goal.
Might be why we've seen so much wide play with the wind wreaking so much havoc. If you do miss that kick into the corridor, as Lee did there, really made to pay the price. Will Sam Evans make him pay? He'll kick from around about 40 out, directly in front. Looks good off the boot, and Evans has got the Tigers second. They skip out to a 6-point lead. 2 straight plays, 1 straight, 16 minutes into this one.
Yeah, it was starting to swing a little bit. North Lonnie had many opportunities over the first 10 to 12 minutes of the game, but Kingborough have stood up, built a bit of momentum back, head their way, and found themselves with a goal in front. So it's a good fight, a good little mini fight back in the start of this first term. The other thing is, too, we talk about the breeze. Kingborough know these conditions, too. We forget about that. It's their home ground. We're talking about the ball swirling around. No one knows better how to move it and how to get it from one end to the other than what they would. So, good start.
Grand final rematch here at the Twin Ovals. Nash couldn't quite take it cleanly. Gardner just hacks it off the deck. Fletcher Bennett first to the football. Through traffic was composed. Nash Gives the handball across to Kerr. Kerr by hand, worked it to Stingle. Stingle back to Nash. Nash to Van Dam. Good chaining of handballs here. Van Dam's kick just pitching short, though, of Chug. Sent now across the face of goal. Man, Shandon back in the team trying to track it down, but across the boundary line it rolls. Exciting player, William Man Shandon. Good to see him back out there. Some real explosiveness in that forward line he brings. Plenty of wheels.
Good name too. We love names.
Always a good one to call. See if he can light up the Twin Ovals this afternoon. Coming over the top there was a Hearn. Chug. Griggs wrapped him up. Put the handball away. Clifford clears the area. The spoils come in. It falls out the back for Skeen. Speaking of players with wheels, he was caught though. Manshandon, the two speedsters duelling. Manshandon to Bennett. By hand, they keep working it nicely. And now Van Dam. Van Dam into the middle for Jake Nash. Nash with a kick that's barely the 15, but it's paid to Bales.
Good start from Nash, getting his hands on the footy, helping his team surge. I think that was Max College, out there for Kingborough that took a hit. He's down. A few players looking over at him. Hopefully he's okay.
Chug off at a lead. Bales paying no attention to the leads. Looks like he fancies he can carry the journey here from 55.
Hard left to right, you reckon?
Yeah, you want to start there on the left
See,
side. But he ran straight into trouble. The kick smothered.
He tried to run it to the line.
Ran it straight into Clifford in the end, and they might be opened up the other way. Tyler Carter tracking this one back. Needs an accommodating bounce. Has some support in Skeen. He found him. Skeen looks to drive inside. He sends his kick towards the middle of the forward 50 arc. Zeitzen dropped one he should have had. The Bombers, with a hurried kick, will just about be able to get out. Ives, though, now under pressure. Nicholas had a fumble. Might need to release this. Does. That's a high tackle there. That's surely going to be called against Ives. It is. A free kick going the way of Max College.
Well, they'll love that forward 50 pressure. That was unbelievable there from Kingborough. They knew they had an opportunity. I don't know how far it looked like he was running to the pocket up the other end for his shot, and the ball smothered and bang, and all of a sudden they've got it up the other end. But that pressure was wonderful. They weren't letting it out. Outnumbered at one stage, providing themselves with another opportunity on goal.
Certainly came in a long way, Harry Bales. It's opening up the angle, and then there's just changing the angle completely.
Just forgot where he was going.
So Max College kicking into the wind here. Does he have the journey? Not quite. It held up, and Lee smashed it through. The 13-7 lead. Might be a decent result given the way a couple of these kicks have held up at this end of the ground. Van Dam. Just the 15 to Jake Nash. He gave it to Bales. Bales handballs over the top to Simpson. Simpson scooped it inside, but gave it straight to Kieran Lovell. Couldn't take it cleanly. Allowed Simpson back in. All in dispute now. They scrap for it. Doing well was Ashland. Simpson has a hold of Lovell, and they force a stoppage. Lee knocks it boundary side. They'll go again. Neither Ruckman able to win that one. Nash couldn't take it cleanly. Clifford flipped it outside looking for Lovell. He's bumped off it. And trickles out of play, including Stingle. So 7 points the Tigers lead in the grand final rematch. Palmed down beautifully by Gardner. Kick from Clifford though, straight down the throat of Bales. He's off here, Bales. Gets himself into trouble again. Now dispossessed was Salter. Van Dam bailing out Bales there. He's having a bit of trouble running into men on the mark at the moment.
Yeah.
Van Dam called to play on, so just retreats back to Nash. That lets in Tyler Carter. Carter under pressure from Nash. Neither kept his feet.
Oh.
That is insufficient intent, if you ever see it. Just a panicked moment there from young Nash. Just knocked it straight out of play.
Oh, wasn't it?
And Carter from the pocket. See if he opens up the angle and snaps on the left here.
Geez, a ton of uncertainty for North Lonnie.
Carter does just that. Didn't catch the football at all right. Caught the side of the ball. Spills out in the opposite pocket. Off hands for a throw in.
Fat ball. Holding the ball out in the pocket. But North Lonnie got the free kick. And I found it interesting. Van Dam just a little chip back to his... There was no urgency at all to get the ball back to his teammate to get it out of there. Just a little... He kicked it back to him 3 metres and just sort of jogged off. There was just no urgency at all. And then they were left with no options. Caught holding the ball. Fascinating.
Carter wins it down. Kieran Lovell roving beautifully. Kicked it up towards the top of the square. Zeitzen under pressure. Lockie Mitchell goes to Cox Goodyear. Self behind the ball just to try and steady things. Kerr and Godomski. Kerr did well. Flicked the handball over the top to Sulzberger. Brewer brings him down with a crunching tackle. They've really lifted their intensity here in the second half of the quarter, the Tigers. It's now the Bombers struggling to exit D50.
Yeah, they have, and that's causing North Lonnie to be unsure. Across half back, they don't even know where to go. They should just at least get it on the boot because they're getting caught holding the ball. Lots of pressure acts from Kingborough.
Umpire tosses it back into play. Brewer paddles it towards the line.
As we said, not the shootout we probably thought, but I like it. It's a hot contest. Only there's 7 points in it. Good start. Who's going to break?
Back into play. Lee Gardner. Baker handball. Just eluded Ashland. Leary getting up and involved. Sends one right across the ground. Avon couldn't quite take it cleanly. Skeen. Skeen's kick charge down into the path of Kerr. Kerr flips it to Chug. Chug running in. Wide open goal. He sends it. It's bending back from Chug. It's a beautiful goal. Worked it back on the breeze majestically, and they cut the margin to 1 point in the shadows of quarter time.
Yeah, important late goal there from North Lonnie, as you said, on the shadows of quarter time. They'll be a bit flat with that, Kingborough. They had the ball, they'd worked hard to get it back, and yeah, unfortunately, Skeen went on a real wide arc there. It probably almost took a little bit too long to get the ball on the boot and allowed it to be smothered, and that's all she wrote after that. Great finish. Allowed for the win beautifully.
He's a classy operator, Declan Shug. Been spending some time forward this season. Just the guy you want the ball in the hands of. Usually uses it well, makes good decisions. And that time he saw the space out behind, straightened up. Lovely finish. Back to the middle. The team find another one before the break. Stingle spun out of trouble, then spun back into trouble. Kerr. Lovely ball to Sulzberger. Leary just lost his footing, making a lead. Sulzberger sends it across the face into the pocket. Lets the big men get to work, and Chug! In the end, Griffiths flew at the football. Created a bit of a screen for Chug just to sneak him behind.
Yeah, they could have raffled it in the end. I don't know whether it was great use of voice if he said, leave it, I've got it. But absolutely both could. It was a good kick. Put it out in front of your forwards. That's where you want it. You want two of them to have the option to mark it.
Some great use from the blade, Sulzberger. So can Chug get 2 goals in a minute here. Tight angle. Nurses it back on the breeze beautifully. So Chug throwing in the conditions. He gets his second in a matter of 60 seconds. And in the blink of an eye, it's the Bombers in the lead by 5.
Making the most of their opportunities, particularly Chug, as you said. That was a great finish a moment ago from 40. Allowed for the breeze. And then, obviously, he knows it's a hard left to right out there. Nice mark in the pocket. Nice finish, making sure of it. Kingborough be a bit flat with the last 2 minutes. Closing in on quarter time. Having the lead. It's been a good little fight back from them, but North Lonnie now getting back on top.
Back to the middle. Garnis having a spell in the ruck. Simpson. Sulzberger. Couldn't quite find Van Dam by hand. Van Dam got a hand in there, though. Clifford. Back to Gardner. Gardner is massaging one forward, but chopped off by Fletcher Bennett. Bennett gets them moving quickly. It's a good ball from Bennett. Found a teammate in Nash in space. His handball maybe a little too hot there for Nicholas. Had a fumble. They turned it over now. Clifford back over the head. That was ill-advised. Plenty of Bombers lurking. Skeen worked it to Webb. Webb back to Clifford. Punched a low one across the face and found Brewer, who gets them moving quickly. Sends it down to a hard-leading College. Over the top for him is Evans. But Bennett comes across, almost intercepted, not quite. Bennett now wrapping up Evans. They battle away. Clifford comes in for the Tigers. College sends it high in the Carter direction. A 2-on-1. Nash couldn't take the mark. Theo Ives dropped the football and then forced to defend. So a good result in the end for Evans, given he was outnumbered 2-1 to force the stoppage.
Turnover City there again. It's a little bit sloppy at times from both sides.
It's been a scrappy opening term here. The Bombers with a narrow lead. The Tigers looking to change that late. Nash trying to break through the tackle of Golding. Umpire says, I'll have it. Carter takes it out of the ruck. Immediately tackled over the top for Evans. Flipped it across to Webb. Punched a low one. The bounce almost got over the head of Ives, but he's got a fair bit of height and stature about him, Theo Ives, and he uses that to whack it through.
Nice and casually.
2-2. The 3 goals straight. Deep into quarter number 1. Long clearing kick. Oh, great mark from the side. Getting across there was Lucas Ford. But a free kick's been spotted. It's going the way of Chug. Fortunate for Ford, who'd done well there. Chug now having an influence on this contest. Sends them towards half forward. Spoiled away. Back into the corridor. Leary there. Charging through Ashland. Just released in time. Van Dam. A-Vent. Clifford couldn't take it cleanly. And there, I think it's the siren for quarter time. A different sounding siren here today, though I'm used to. Either way, the first quarter ends here at the Twin Ovals. And a 4-point lead for the Northern Bombers. 3 straight plays 2-2. A bit of an arm wrestle and a scrappy one at that, developing Mitch McPherson.
Yeah, arm wrestle, absolutely. A little bit sloppy. Skills haven't been as clean, as we said, as what both sides would have liked. Not the shootout we hoped for, but yeah, an even contest all the same. And you just sort of feel it's who's going to get used to the conditions sooner and make the most of their opportunities. But a hot contest and, yeah, top of the table clash, which we're both enjoying very much.
You'd expect nothing less. We'll be back shortly with quarter number 2. A tight battle developing at the Twin Ovals between the top 2 sides in the TSL. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
No, she's the problem.
But it looks like mold and shit, which is just blowing in my face. It's like,
Right.
it's always been like that. And in here, it hasn't been clean, so I've just taken out the rubbish. I don't know. And,
Do you want to film outside, provided it's still on?
yeah, I guess I could probably move out.
I mean, what we'll do is we'll raise this direct with council.
I think we would have, from round one, we would have actually got the council to put on those settings to fix this.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
We've alerted
I mean,
it,
it's all
yeah, it's poor.
pretty.
No, it's no good. What? Sheet?
That's just footprints up the wall and stuff.
Yeah, well, clearly
work out
last
how
time
that-
when you got here, there was squatters in there or something that.
Well, do more than squatting.
Yeah, exactly. Had themselves a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sorry, mate. Like, sure.
It's just the wind's blowing in my face and all this shit. I mean, it's been like that for a long time, but I don't know if it's how bad for you.
That's just dust.
Is it?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was mould.
Okay.
That was dust. That's just
That's
dust.
all right. That's what I wanted to
Yeah.
take an opinion on it. That's all.
But yeah, a bit of a clean would be.
I don't.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be
We'll
harmful.
escalate it. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Should have better conditions to work in. So.
Yeah. That's all right.
So welcome back for quarter number 2. Here at the Twin Ovals. It's the Bombers in the ascendancy by 4 points, 3 straight to 2-2 after a pretty tight first quarter, but Mitch McPherson, always tough to judge scores at this ground till both teams have kicked to each end.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be easier to assess at half time. But, yeah, it's been a good game. Kingborough look very, very likely when they get it forward, but obviously they haven't had as many entries as what North Lonnie have, so that creates more opportunities and they've been able to hit the scoreboard more. So nice, relatively even contest. As you said, we'll assess it closer at half time, but good start.
So just about ready to get underway in quarter number 2. It's the ladder leaders holding sway by 4 over the defending premiers. Gardner and Lee to resume their duel. Trying to get the first clearance was Clifford trying to barge through the pack and just toes it off the deck up towards the half-forward line. Couldn't quite make it work, Evans. Charging away from him, Mitchell Nicholas goes looking for Harvey Griffiths. Presented up nicely, took a good strong mark ahead of Godomski. Griffiths spears a low one. Lovely ball to Ahern. Jack Ahern. Send this one in the Leary direction, draws a crowd. Aganis first to the fall, then just dropped it. Hustling through Webb. Now Sulzberger looking for Griffiths. Griffiths gathers, but is taken across the line by Godomski. Gardner palms it down. Griggs flicks it up. Cox Goodyear slams it on the left. In the middle of the 50-yard. Griffiths juggled, dropped it, then regathered, snapped on goal. It just went straight up in the air. Ball now into the path of Lovell. He'll play the 1-2. Walking the tightrope there in defence. Took the kick low. It was a bit of a risky one. Gardner got the handball off to Ashland. They're able to get it out of defensive 50. Clifford, he's driven into the ground by Van Dam. There'll be a ball up. Kept composed under some pressure. Deep in defence there, the Tigers. Gardner. Van Dam couldn't quite take it. Instead, Lovell able to sprint away with the clearance. He sends it up towards half forward. Bennett got a solid fist in. That's high contact against Bales. Going to College. College gave it to Lovell. It was in pretty heavy traffic. Swings the kick inside the forward 50 arc. Lockie Mitchell parked back there, but the ball trickles over the line.
I know he probably was a bit too far out to short, but not sure of that handball. He had a couple of North Lonnie players right around him. Lovell running to, I think, his opposite side, and just sort of kicked it to nowhere. Good result for them to get the throw in.
It'll be Carter against Lee. Lee won it down towards Bales. Carter goes back in. Lee wraps him up.
Carter copped one there, but I think the knees went low. He was sort of looking for a high one. He got it. No free kick, though. A little bit sore.
Well, duel once more. Lee slapped it down. Lovell and Sulzberger battling away. Lovell gets the football across to Ashland. Fired the handball, picked off by Van Dam. Sulzberger couldn't gather. Ashland does. Slaps it on the boot. Drifting towards the top of the square.
Oh.
But the relieving mark is taken by Mitchell. Mitchell across the face of goal for Bennett and puts it straight out of play.
There's that danger. You've got to be on with that kick when you're pushing out to that far side or the inside there. The ball just drifts over a little bit further than what you think with that breeze. This is a tough kick from here.
The wind should work it back. If anyone you want the hands of, it's probably James Zeitzen. Usually a lovely kick, but this will take his absolute best from outside the ground. In the end, he didn't get it. The wind staying down on that occasion, floats across the face.
His action looked like he was going to sit it at the top of the square, but he got a full purchase on it, and it just never came back, didn't give it a chance.
The Bombers called to play on. Bales, long, tough contest. Bennett emerges with the football. Sends them down the wing. Spoil came from Clifford, but
areas.
Keeping his feet was Avent. Scooped the handball over the top. Umpire said didn't get rid of it legally. Bit miffed, but the free kick killed. Clifford in short to Ashland. Starting to get busy, Ashland. That one a bit off the side of the boot. Pitches out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, what a waste. Big opportunity there from Kingborough. Great tackle. They get him holding the ball when they were looking to have the ascendancy moving forward, and then just to cough it up again like that. Oh, another turnover here.
Well, Dicey out of defence, and they've coughed it up to Lovell. Carter retreats back to Clifford. Squaring ball and another turnover. This time Cox Goodyear. Disposal efficiency not high, but this time it'll be the Bombers charging through the middle. Van Dam pitched just ahead of Avent. Makes it work, but the pressure comes from the Tigers defence, burrowing in there forward. In the end, there'll be a stoppage.
I'd love to get a look at the footy. It's got to be an oblong. No one can kick it at the moment. Even handballs are missing the target. It's been very, very, very sloppy early here.
Scrappy game as Lee wins it down. Van Dam with strength from the contest. Goes looking for a Garnis. Donnelly took front position. Griffiths runs past the football. Scooped out by Watt into dispute. Shug kicked 2 in the first quarter. Gathers this one. Played on. Was he still being held there by Watts? Umpire says he was. Clever from Chug.
Yeah, it was clever. He's having a good start to the game today. Had the nous to, I think he gathered it. It might have been a really quick handball. And then had his jumper tugged a few times. So good decision by the umpire.
So he kicked 2 in the first term, Chug. Tight angle here. He's going to try the banana and try to bend it back across the face. And mighty leap. Griffiths paid the mark. Harvey Griffiths. Another look at that one, but the umpire in no doubt. An opportunity to extend the Bombers' lead here.
Well, I thought it was his teammate that had full purchase on it the first grab, but no one around them seemed to think. Yeah.
No real protest, so Griffiths goes back, slots it through the middle, and they extend the lead to 9 points. 4 straight for the Bombers.
Yeah, as you said, no protest around that. It looked like Ahern had first purchase on it, but nevertheless, another goal to North Lonnie. They kick away a little bit. Kingborough have got to get the ball on their terms a little bit. They just seem to be reacting to all the attacking that North Lonnie are doing. And then when they are getting an opportunity, they seem to cough it up and allow North Lonnie to get back into the game. So find a way, get back on, or get on top, play the game how they want it.
So back to the middle. Last 3 goals of the contest going the way of the Bombers. Can the Tigers respond? Lee won it down beautifully to Van Dam. Turns back onto the right foot and sends it inside forward 50 men. Shandon getting away. Some separation there from Watt. His kick probably just beyond him, so he slides one towards a Garner. Spoiled away. Chug slipped and copped one high. He's fortunate there. A timely slip, and he gets the free kick.
Yeah, nice and lucky there, the slip, and then cop one on the head on the way down. Unfortunate there for Lucas Ford, for Kingborough, tapping him on the head. Another shot on goal, but that all started out of the middle, wasn't it? Beautiful tap down, and what happens there, you give your forwards every opportunity if they're standing in front.
And the Lee and Van Dam combination getting to work. So Chug has 2, has set up another. Has he got 3? He doesn't. First blemish on the scoreboard for the Bombers. A couple of out of bounds on the full in there, but 4-1 not bad given the conditions.
I'd like to see Kingborough really just up the ante a little bit here. Take it on a little bit. Seem nice and slow when they're coming out, but just move it fast. See how it works for you. Just get it going.
Donnelly goes for distance, but parked behind the ball was Bales. Kick towards Avent, couldn't complete the mark. Garnis battling away for it. There'll be a stoppage, half forward for the Bombers. Lee starting to get on top in the ruck, but he slapped that one straight down to Clifford. Manufactured a kick into the middle of the ground. Big ball to be won. Nash wrapped up by Ashland.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Lee, getting on top a little bit in there. Gardner, a solid start, but it's a big ask to be doing that all day. A little bit of a worry there out of the middle.
Dominant ruck in the TSL for so many years, Alex Lee. Again, another clearance here through Van Dam. 2 teammates went for the same ball, and now Nash might profit. Out the back he goes, slides it towards the square. Chug with 2 to beat. Ball hits the deck. Donnelly just towed it. That allowed Chug in again. He's wrapped up by Donnelly. Just released a kick, then Webb able to clear defensive 50. Spoil was good from Bales. Fell to Cox Goodyear. Sweeps the handball to Van Dam. Van Dam, he's caught there by Baker. Tigers recapture the football. James Webb off half back. Drifts into the corridor with hands. Found its way to Clifford. Arched the back, showed some composure, then scrubbed an ugly-looking kick that's turned over. Bennett couldn't keep a hold of it. Crashing through was Salter. Back to Clifford. Clifford over the top to Ashland. Ashland charges to the paint. He slaps it on the boot. It won't have the journey. College in the square couldn't reel it in. Lockie Mitchell with some tremendous defence rushes it behind.
Oh, good call. They got an opportunity there. Kingborough finally were able to break it out of defence. Moved it quick. Good to see.
Bombers Likewise out of the half back line here, man Shandon.
Mark.
Juggles a good mark. Eventually will be paid. So man Shandon, low kick towards Avent. Couldn't quite control it, but kept it in motion to Nash. Nash goes over the top looking for Nicholas, but just running out of room. So 9 points the Bombers lead as the ball be tossed back into play. Thruckman with bandaged legs. He won it down. Ashland just released the handball. Baker crashed into Nash. Manufacturer kick forward. Lovell parked behind the football, able to swoop onto it. He sends it long down the line. It's a great intercepting mark in the pack there from Fletcher Bennett. Retreats to Jake Nash. He looks to execute the switch. Did it pretty well too. Now they'll charge out of defence. Switching ball towards Kerr. He gathers, straightens, shrugged a man. Couldn't get rid of him
Great
though.
tackle.
Hamish Watts stuck diligently to the task and he's rewarded with the free kick.
Oh, what?
No, he's not. Well, I'm very confused now, Mitch.
Just having a look at the replay. I think it might have been out the other side. His teammate dragged him off the ball out wide.
So the non-controlling umpires paid a free kick against Tyler Carter. The Tigers
And a fitty as well.
giving up a 50, presumably due to the reaction to the free kick. And as it turns out, Kerr is presented with a straightforward chance to kick a goal, which he does. So they kick out to a 15-point lead. Kerr takes full advantage. And those 50-metre penalties can be so costly in the offensive half of the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he celebrated hard there. He got caught holding the ball and ended up waltzing down there, getting a 50-metre penalty and kicking the goal. And, that was some celebration for someone that got caught holding the ball. But at the end of the day, his side kicks away to a 15-point lead, and it's a little bit of a worry now for Kingborough. North Lonnie looking good all over the ground here. Kingborough just can't find a way to just crack through. Skills haven't been on when they needed it.
So, last 4 goals of the game the way of the Bombers. The Tigers in need of a response here. Nash tucked under the tackle of Webb, who's pinged for high tackle anyway.
Stiff there. Philly waited. He knew that he bent over. It was barely got contact on him, but you sort of have to pay that these days.
Chipped it across to Van Dam. Deked one way, then the other, then flicked the handball back out to Nash. Nash's kick.
Oh, slips catch.
Diving effort from Stingle. Couldn't quite reel it in. Chipped forward now in the direction of Zeitzen. Taken away from him by Ives, who gathers and bounds off half back. Griggs spoils over the top, but the ball stays in motion, and they can send it forward now. Flying from behind
great
Clifford.
spots.
Another spoil straight to the hands of man Shandon. Sharked it beautifully. Spot up kick to Chug, who took front position and will take the free kick as a result.
Well, how about the front and centre from Man Shandon? The man with the name of the day just found himself beautifully. Look at that. He just sat back at the replay at the pack, read it beautifully, entered inside 50, ball out in front. Not real sure looking at the replay about that free kick. It looked like he fell before there was any, he just tripped over his feet there, but nevertheless, bit of a worrying time now for Kingborough.
Declan Chug having a profound influence on this contest. He can extend the lead to 21 points there. He goes back, didn't quite catch that one right. And he puts it into the behind post, won't trouble the scorers. So a let off there for the Tigers. They really are in dire need of the next score before this one just gets away from them. That'll be fronts on contact against Man Shandon.
Geez, that was a good front and centre from Man Shandon.
Just read it so much better than
Yeah, he
Godomski,
did.
didn't he?
Beautifully, just sat back and waited. Hello, I know where this is going. Got to win it here, Kingborough. This is the time, the space on the ground where you got to win it. Link up, break that line, give your forwards a chance.
Very early days, but next goal feels important if they just want to get themselves back into this one. Webb did well, got it to Baker. Baker tumbles a kick towards half line. Through the legs of Bennett. Pressure being applied by Carmichael. Bennett wanted the line and found it.
Yeah, well, they got the ball, but it's that kick again, isn't it? A metre off the ground, worm burner, straight to a North Lonnie player. Wasn't clean enough to pick it up, but that's not giving your forwards the opportunity. Put a bit of air on it, sit it out, allow someone to fly at the ball. Wasn't under an enormous amount of pressure there with that kick.
Marks nullify each other. Nicholas first to the ball, but trickles off his knee and out of play. So 15 points, the Bombers lead. Making a move here in quarter number 2. College to do the ruck work this time. Landed right in his breadbasket and he just slaps it deep forward. Bounced off a chest down there. Mitchell gets it across to teammate there. Coming over the top was Nash. Just towed forward in the end by Lockie Mitchell.
Oh.
Spinning classily through was Stingle and his
How
hands
good
were
was that?
slick to Lockie Mitchell. They work it now to Manshandon. Manshandon to Simpson. Simpson opens up the angle with a super kick to Nash. Dropped the chest mark. Umpire paid it anyway. Doesn't matter. Plays on. Sends it in the lee direction. Donnelly with some good body work. Chug goes off the deck and kicks a wonderful goal. He is causing all sorts of havoc down there. He just flung his boot at that, did Chug. He has 3. And the Bombers have a 21-point break.
Chug's having an absolute day out. Well, it's a bit of a worry now. Kingborough down the other end, particularly with Agarnis going into the ruck, giving you a slight reprieve for that dominance in the air, and still couldn't manage to find a way to break through, and they link up beautifully. It's just that pace, isn't it? The pressure that they utilise and that they use and put on when they just push through the middle of the ground puts the Kingborough defenders under too much opportunity, under too much pressure. A bit of luck there, of course, with the kick, but when you bring it in that many times, you're bound to hit the scoreboard at least a few of them correctly.
So many weapons down there. Kept Leary quiet today, but it's Chug who's doing all the damage, and Sulzberger and Van Dam link up out of the middle once more as they look to go forward. They're forced wide to Harvey Griffiths. Griffiths punches one into the pockets. Getting a fist on it there was Ford. Tumbling towards the arc of 50. Agarnis dropped the mark, regathered the football. High up and under from Stingle. That won't be 15.
Snow on it.
Harvey Griffiths spins through the contest and just rather blatantly threw it out.
He thought, we're having a good quarter here. We're getting away with a few things. Let's see if I can just give this off.
A little too blatant on that occasion. Lovely kick from Clifford.
Go, move it.
Speared it wide to Carter. Carter sends it down the line. Looking there for Zeitzen. Couldn't reel it in. Nash. Nicholas. Retreating ground back to Bales. He guides one to Cox Goodyear. Bradley Cox Goodyear now tearing through the corridor. Backing himself in the veteran and goes looking for Harvey Griffiths. A bit too much on the kick. Godomski intercepts. Godomski, Spider-Man, all on his lonesome in the middle. College just peeling off into space. He gets it moving quickly. Can Zeitzen take the mark in the one-on-one? Ball suited Ives. Zeitzen flicked the handball. Then another one given looking for Carmichael.
High.
And a high contact free kick. He's going to give the Tigers an opportunity for a badly needed goal here for Carmichael.
A little bit of luck there. Good mark from College. It wasn't a great kick, though. He had heaps of space, turned around and just sort of bombed it into a 1-on-2. I mean, the forward wasn't really moving to make some space for his own advantage, but nevertheless there, I think Cox Goodyear knew when he lowered his knees then that he was probably going to get him high, but he's a hard man. He likes winning that footy, so he was going to put his body on the line. I think he's been reported here. Is that what they're looking at?
Yeah.
He's been reported for that, but
seemed that way.
Let's have a look at the replay. He did. Let's not comment on it.
No, we'll leave that to the tribunal.
That's not our job, Andrew.
Here's Locke Carmichael. Sends it straight through the middle. A badly needed goal, that for the Tigers. Their first of the quarter. They cut the margin back to 15 points. Can that be the goal that gets them going here in this match?
Yeah, well, they need something, and that could be it. a gun on the opposition side, getting down, getting one of your teammates head height should fire you up a little bit. You got a goal out of it, but let's allow that to build the momentum now. Getting close to half time. Kingborough have had or been the dominant side for the best part of this quarter. Let's get it back, get it moving, try and get another one, get yourself back into this competition.
We're into red time. The Bombers in the ascendancy by 15 points here. It's been a strong quarter for them. They'll be looking to finish off here as the Tigers look to just close the gap for the main change. Gardner won it down decisively to Clifford. He sends a kick wide. Skeen flew from behind there, almost juggling the mark was Carmichael, not quite. Bales just slaps it on the boot. Up towards Ahern, outpointed by Brereton, the ball favouring him.
Good mark.
Ambrose Brereton gets it moving. When in doubt philosophy, probably not working quite as well in this game with insufficient intent rules.
Yeah.
There were certainly shades of that there. So Brereton sends the Tigers forward to a contest. Juggling the mark though, Jake Nash did well.
They're persistent on that, Kingborough, aren't they? Bombing it down the line, and North Lonnie have been dominant in the air down half back, so find another way in. Switches on here.
So Bennett to Nash to Mitchell, who coughs it up to Tyler Carter. He was looking for Ives and just caught that kick all wrong. Can Tyler Carter make them pay? Having a good few moments here, the Tigers. Can they make a count on the scoreboard and cut the margin back to 9 points here? Tyler Carter sends it on its way from 40. Looked beautiful off the boot. Tyler Carter sends it through. 2 in a row for the Tigers. And they cut the margin back to 8 points.
Well, luck's a fortune. He was just standing there, unmanned, not manning anyone up. The ball should have gone over his head and North Lonnie were away, but it was a gift, fell into his lap. But great finish. That's what footy's all about, isn't it? Take your opportunities, and Kingborough have done that with the last 2 goals. Back to a 9-point game, getting themselves back into it just on half-time.
A big final few minutes in this quarter coming up. The Tigers able to string goals together. After the Bombers had control of the quarter on the match to that point. So 9 points the margin. So we go back to the middle, Lee back in there, the Bombers up against Gardner. In the end, Lovell sends a high up and under. Skeen got some separation from Bales and takes the mark. Skeen wheels out to his right, just sends it into the pocket. He's got a few targets down there. Zeitzen was lurking. Ball off hands into the pocket. Tyler Carter squares it up.
Oh, touched.
Oh, he's seen the sockers off the deck. That was just the cross coming in there from the byline from Tyler Carter.
You get what he was doing. He didn't want to hit it too hard, but he probably needed to.
So back to 8 points. Tigers finishing this quarter sharply. Bombers clear defensive 50 once more. Spoiled away from Griffiths. Van Dam paddled it cleverly to Avent. Avent back in towards Sulzberger, but getting in the way was Lovell. Leary has been well held so far by Clifford. He lays a tackle here on Brewer in the middle. Be happy to have nullified a player like Leary's influence, but also wary that they're trailing in this game and he's yet to really fire a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clifford doing really well in that matchup. To the outside, Van Dam kept his feet. Sends it towards the half-forward line and Harvey Griffiths. Godomski parked himself in front, paddling towards the line was Griffiths, then Godomski, and it's out of play. Lee did superbly, won it down to Cox Goodyear. Harvey Griffiths not quite. Shug's been dangerous. Umpire's whistle goes again. And it's going to Harvey Griffiths by the look of things. Hold paid there against Godomski.
Grabbed the right arm, gave it a little tug, I think, but it was a beautiful tap down. Goodyear in the right spot. Lee knowing where his champ is.
So Harvey Griffiths from the angle looks pretty good, but just drifted late. Through for a minor score. The margin 9 points. Griffiths unable to take advantage there. Some little discipline in dangerous areas has hurt the Tigers today. Here's Donnelly out of fullback.
Yeah, it has. Defensive 50 free kicks. They've had a few shots on goal because of some ill discipline from the Kingborough defenders.
And Dam sends them forward. Was looking for a Hearn, spoiled away from him. Fell into the path of Baker, kicked it straight into Cox Goodyear, landed to Chug, lost his footing, gave the handball across. Sulzberger couldn't direct his effort on goal just for a minor score. So up the wing they go, spills out Nicholas, couldn't quite control. Tackle from Stingle.
Yeah, you heard someone in the crowd, don't let it over the back. Over the back it went, but College, a little fumble. They would have been away there, Kingborough.
Van Dam again. Plenty of clearances for him this afternoon, continuing his hot form. Sends them to half forward and Leary. Clifford again getting a fist in the way though.
Held.
A free kick will this time go the way of Godomski. He's probably getting haunted by that umpire's whistle at the moment. Would be very nervous hearing it there. A couple go against him this term. Here's James Webb at half back. Sends them down the line. Lee comes across, thumps it out of play.
Yeah, I just don't know about that kick. Again, you're going to Gardner, your big ruckman down there on the wing, but he's obviously got another big man with him, and they find a way, North Lonnie, to have another one or two defenders go up as well. That's been the case all day. You only end up with a throw-in out on the wing. Find a way to cut through.
Lee thumps it back centrally. Beautiful ruck work that. And away they go through the middle. Sulzberger demands a lead and then sends it in the Griffiths direction. Over his head. No one can quite take the mark. Tigers had the loose out the back. That was Watt. High kick. Just set his teammate up. Fell the way of Leary. Leary to Manshandon. Manshandon from the angle. It's across the face. And just to behind. 6 goals for. A couple of opportunities late in this term go begging for the Bombers.
Yeah, well, that's right. While Kingborough are giving it up, North Lonnie aren't making the most of it on the scoreboard. Geez, they look exciting. How good's Van Dam been?
Yeah, he's been one of the form players in the league this year, showing just right. Led the league in disposals heading in. I think he's probably only extended that with his work this afternoon. He's been prolific.
Absolutely.
I think the umpire's just wanted a free kick out of this. He has. It's going to go the way of Webb.
What do they do here?
He's going to be forced to kick to a contest. Sends it down the line. Plenty of tall timber there, but Bennett just comes in from the side and smashes it out of play. Deep into the second quarter. Half-time fairly imminent. 11-point lead for the Bombers.
See how they set up here, North Lonnie. They've been brilliant escaping the wing set up. Not today, not now.
He won it down, but Ashland was there for the Tigers. Quick kick inside forward 50. A good one to Zeitzen. He takes the mark on his hands and knees.
Generally a good finisher, the Zeit. So he'll go back. This is an important kick. Hard to believe that if he slots this, there a kick in it upon half-time. Just feel that North Lonnie have had all the dominance of this quarter, but Kingborough are remaining in it.
Massive kick indeed, Mitch here. James Zeitzen can bring it back within 5 points. He'll kick from just inside 50. It's working back, but not enough. The breeze apparently dying on that occasion. It's been blowing cross. Seemed like it was on a good line.
Yeah, he didn't give it a chance. He got a bit close to the man on the mark too. I was watching him, looked like he was going to get it smothered, and he ran out of leg room and threw it on the boot and stayed a hard left, unfortunately.
So 10 points to the margin. The Bombers through Bales. Kicking up towards the contest. Harvey Griffiths brings down a good mark.
He's been lively, hasn't he? His efforts, A1.
We'll send them down the wing here. And that is half-time at the Twin Ovals, the grand final rematch. It's the Northern Bombers up by 10 points at the main change. Could potentially be a little bit more. Kingborough, you'd imagine, would probably take the 10-point deficit given the way that quarter went, but still all to play for in the second half, Mitch.
Yeah, I agree. They'll be pretty pleased with that. I think Kingborough going in half-time only 10 points down. As I said, if you're watching it without a scoreboard, you'd feel North Lonnie were ahead by a lot more than what they are, as we said on the scoreboard. But a nice, fairly even contest. I think if Kingborough can get it together and find a way to break through and get a little bit more ascendancy out of the middle of the ground and the boundary throw-ins on the wings, they're well back in this contest.
Yeah, scoring became a little bit easier there in the second term after it was pretty hard to find goals in quarter number one. The game opening up a little bit. Conditions still tough. It's the Bombers in the lead by 10 points. Tigers still well and truly in this massive round 6 clash in the TSL. Be back in around about a quarter of an hour's time with the second half for you. The Bombers looking to maintain their 100% record on top of the table. The defending premiers looking to really get going and claim a major scalp here in 2024. We'll be back shortly with the second half.
Wait for his doors.
So welcome back for the second half here at the Twin Ovals. It's the Bombers leading by 10 points as we turn for quarter number 3. Kingborough took some chances there in the second term just to keep within touch. What do they need to do here, do you reckon, in the second half, Mitch, if they're going to get right back into this one?
Yeah, well, it would have been a different storyline if they hadn't had a little bit of fortune late in that second term, getting a couple of late goals and considering themselves still very much in this contest and a big chance heading into the second half. But, yeah, I think they've got to get on top in the midfield a little bit more. North Lonnie obviously got that ascendancy in the ruck today, and Gardner's certainly having a crack, but it's when the ball hits the deck, North Lonnie just seem to be first to the pill and work it out really well to give their forwards the first opportunity. They seem to have had a lot of inside 50s and a lot of shots on goal, so Kingborough be looking to get on top in that midfield, give their forwards more of a shot.
So we're just about ready to get underway around the grounds. Launceston leading North Hobart 39-17 and Clarence 102-28 over the Magpies in other TSL action. But we're underway in quarter number 3 in the grand final rematch. Sulzberger locking up here with Clifford and just slipped above the shoulder before he kicked away of Lockie Clifford. Short one finds Golding. Wheels off to his right and drives them inside the forward 50. Tyler Carter the target. Couldn't quite reel that one in. Crashing in there was College. Be a ball up centrally inside the forward 50 arc.
I like that though, Kingborough going straight down the middle. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of that today. Just get it going, get it down the middle.
Carter against Lee, worked him under the football. Umpire's whistle goes. A block, it will go the way of Lee.
Still never understood this rule. You see it a lot in the AFL.
As soon as the ruck takes their eye off the ball, they're in trouble. Seem to be in Carter's
They've got to watch where
there.
they're going though, don't they?
The big fellas. That one's scooped backwards. And by hand, Nicholas able to work it across to Griffiths. Griffiths with a fast handball to Stingle. Did well to bring it under his spell, and he sends them inside 50. That's a wonderful delivery, but dropping the mark was Chug. Had 99% of it. Snaps towards the top of the goal square. Man Shandon the target. Nothing doing, says the umpire. Ball spills into the pocket. Then driving the tackle was Avent. Spilled out the back. Webb takes the mark. It was called that they'll play on quickly anyway by hand. They carried out to Gardner under pressure from Van Dam. Did well to get it to Lovell. Lovell drives the Tigers towards Carter. Ives spoils away from him. Carter wants to see this across the line. And it was also happy with that result.
I feel like there were about 3 free kicks in that exciting passage of play that didn't happen, but yeah, geez, that was a hot handball. Chug, he's having a good day. I'm surprised he didn't find a way for that to go through. He's had a day out.
Against Gardner, Lee takes front position. Handball to Van Dam. Managed to get his handball away. Sulzberger was charged down by Webb. Continuing his run though. Van Dam, Webb got him. Lovell now goes in and wraps up Sulzberger.
Great attack by Webb. Few efforts, you love to see it. He knows they're within the contest, but they've got to get that ascendancy, and that's how they'll get it.
Lead is on early on. Lee smashes it in the middle of the ground, looking for Bales. Just goes off the deck. Bounced into the hands of Clifford. Clifford goes through the corridor, but that's intercepted. Well done there by Mitchell Nicholas. Wanted to give the handball off to Nash, then went back on the left and sets it up for Leary. He's been well held, Brandon Leary, but an opportunity to make his mark early in the third.
Yeah, Mitchell Nicholas, he looked like he was going to give the handball, whether he was or not, but the man on the mark absolutely fell for it. And what it did do was when he decided not to give the handball, he had a free rein, looking straight at the goals, lowered the eyes, beautiful kick out in front of his teammate.
So could this get Brandon Leary going for the afternoon? Clifford's done a good job on him, but we know what a dangerous goal kicker he is. He's just hung that one out to the left, though. A minor score only. Donnelly from fullback. Plays on and drives it down the middle looking for College. Nicholas comes in from the side, takes a good mark. Leeds present themselves, just shifts it sideways to Cox Goodyear, plays on quickly onto the left, punches it long, it's drifting across the face, and off hands for another behind. Donnelly this time will take it wide. It was a terrible kick though, straight to Cox Goodyear, couldn't quite control, just scooped it out the back. Baker tries to gather. Handball back from Clifford to Lovell. He drives it up the wing, Ives well positioned, couldn't complete the mark. Alex Lee scooped it back. Handball missed Nash. Able to go back, Skeen almost worries him out of it, had a fumble, then Skeen climbs on top. Still Nash got rid of the football. Webb applies a tackle, spills out. Ashland Van Dam comes in with a thumping tackle and wins the free kick. Clifford saying it was the prior. Van Dam with a crunching tackle. He sends it sideways, finds Bennett. Bennett with a kick, barely the 15 to Bales. Bales likewise. They shifted across to Simpson, and with a series of short kicks, they split up Nicholas. Nicholas wants to go one more. He's called to play on. One way, then the other. The kick. Not good service for Leary. Now man Shandon lost his footing. Clifford climbs on top of him. Spills out the back. Ashland takes it away. Drives the kick out of defence. Looking for Zeitzen. Bennett best position. Gets his fist on it. And the boundary line wins out.
Well, a couple of hot starts. Nicholas in particular. He's all over the place there. Across half forward for North Lonnie. He's got a great mark. Good skills. Ran out of time there. But Kingborough got to work it out when they're bringing it out. They just look very, very uncertain. Kicking it to the wrong spots, kicking it to tall North Lonnie defenders. You've got to have a bit of a conversation about how they get it out of there.
Lee continuing to get on top in the ruck. Van Dam went in for it, but Clifford first to the fall. Free kick will go the way of the Bombers. Great
body from Clifford then, but again, just too slow. You did well to move your Van Dam, who's on fire, out of the way of the ball, but then just held onto it too long. It's hot.
Stingle sends them inside the forward 50. Fell fortuitously for Sulzberger. Sulzberger with a wonderful snap and goal. A classy finish from the left footer. Wasn't really a kick that suited a lefty, but he made it work, and they kick out to an 18-point lead.
We get excited for our check sides. I think it was a bit of a check side banana-looking thing, but yeah, again, they're just making their most of their opportunities, aren't they? They're 18 points. It feels like they're 6 goals ahead. But they're certainly not out of it, Kingborough. But the signs look ominous for North Lonnie. They're building, their pressure's building. The players that matter for them are getting the ball in their hands. And it's unfortunately the opposite for Kingborough at the moment.
So the first goal of the third quarter arrives 6.5 minutes in. Blade Sulzberger. 18 points the advantage. Lee with the early lead. Gardner with the hit out. There is the goal scorer, but Clifford this time has a hold of him. One down. Through goes Nicholas. Getting involved. A couple of handballs. Worked it out the back for Stingle. Stingle for Aganis. Oh, well done. Getting a fist in there. It was Donnelly. A timely spoil. Lovell now to the outside. He tries to find Watt. Just worked off the football. Free kick will be paid against Harvey Griffithson to that man, Watt. Slices a kick. Lee almost. Gardner took it away from him. Bounces into the path of Avents. Leary with a tackle. Slinging Brewer to the ground. Got to be careful with those ones. Umpire calls for it. Plenty of talk about those type of tackles in the AFL this season. Such a grey area. Tigers through Clifford burrowing in. Cox Goodyear wraps him up.
I feel like neither side's just had real free flow. There's been moments where they've both got on the end of it and had good passages of play, but it hasn't been maintainable. So it's a very stop-starty game.
Sulzberger thumping it deep towards Aganis. Out the back, umpire spots a free kick. Shug puts it through the middle. An advantage was paid, so Chug has his 4th of the afternoon. The free kick must have gone for a hold maybe on Agarnis. Either way, they're out by 24 points. They've got 8. Chug has half of them.
Yeah, he's having a day, isn't he, Chug? Look at that with it. Yeah, the free kick. Not a blatant free kick or an obvious one looking at the replay, but it's fell in the lap of Chug and he said, thank you very much, I'll take my number 4. And he's having a ripping day.
Well, 12 goals total for the day. He's accounted for 4 of them, and he's set up another 2, I think, Chug.
Yeah, a couple of shots as well. He's been all over it.
Highly impressive. The Tigers in dire need of the next one. Sulzberg is doing some damage out of the middle. Alex Lee will get this clearance. Kick tumbles into the pocket. Griggs out after it. Took a bounce into the hands of Clifford. Clifford sends it wide, looking towards Lovell. Kerr will be first to the football.
Whoop.
Couldn't gather. Allowed Lovell in. Ducks underneath one. And the safety of the line is found by Brewer. Is he called him for insufficient intent for stepping across the line there, perhaps? I'm not sure. Either way, Leary gets his legs taken out from underneath him. Griggs was there. And we just paid 1. The Bombers say, well, you're going to pay another one. What says the umpire?
I'm not sure what that free kick was for back there, but it looked like the umpire might have blown it before it went out, but maybe someone was being held or it was intentional.
Back into play in the forward line. Garnis and Gardner. Garnis wins it down. Sulzberg had been prolific this quarter. Dangerous area with that kick. Bit of a fumble from Brereton, then he's brought down by Van Dam.
It's been the story for Kingborough, I reckon, there with Brereton. They get the ball, they do something good, and then it's just that next step, that next decision hasn't been what they want.
Cox Goodyear in the ruck, an unlikely combatant in there. And holding the footy is paid.
Oh, that's stiff.
So Baker penalised. It's going to be Jack Avent from the angle.
I feel you see a lot of those aren't called. I mean, you do drop the ball, but picked it up trying to get the ball going with a kick.
Jack Avent. Take. Can he take advantage of this one from the pocket? It's a beautiful kick, and they have doubled their score. They're making their move, the Bombers. Perhaps a slightly fortunate free kick, but they take full advantage. They are getting separation now. 9-6 plays 4-6.
Well, you said it. They're taking full advantage. Whether we like it or not, they're the calls. That's what footy is. You've got to run with the roll with the punches when the umpires make a decision. But yeah, they've been making the most of those and kicking their goals and putting that pressure on the scoreboard. It's getting a bit grim now. 5-goal lead.
I feel like that's that classic one that kind of looks like a holding the ball from back in the day, but he had no prior. He's making an attempt to dispose of the football.
Absolutely.
But therefore, it shouldn't be holding the ball as the rules is written now.
Correct. He's doing what we're asking, picking the ball up, trying to get. We want free flow footage. Picked it up, trying to get it on the boot straight away. Dragged off it. It's not like he took a step.
So back to the middle, and it's the Bombers really putting the pedal to the metal here. The Tigers simply must score next. Charging through was Golding.
They haven't got it out of the square for 10 minutes, Kingborough.
They're getting bossed in there, aren't they? Here's Van Dam going in again. Been a big part of that. Worked it out to Nash. Nash to Cox Goodyear on the outside. He has some time and space to assess his options and then just drives a thumping one deep in to the forward 50.
Oh.
Landed into the path of Man Shandon, and they're out by 6 goals, the Bombers. This is scintillating stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Great space again. Man Shannon just read it beautifully. Slowed up a step. You can just see him thinking, hello, this is going to land beautifully for me. But Brad Cox Goodyear, the poise out wide. He picks up the ball, and he has a bounce, and he just sort of waited a little bit. What am I going to do here? I can see my big man, bang. They're on now. We talked about that flow and maintaining it. They're on fire at the minute, North Lonnie.
4 goals, 2 this quarter to the Bombers. Kingborough yet to score. The first score came, I think, 6.5 minutes in, so they've done all that damage in the space of 6 minutes.
It's been a damaging 6 minutes.
They have really burst away from them, and the defending premiers suddenly reeling. The ladder leaders continuing to assert themselves as the team to beat this year. Nash locks that one up. There's domination from the centre at the moment. Tigers can't get the ball forwards. Ball into space. Bales overruns it. Nash left it behind. Now perhaps a chance for the Tigers here. A handball in the Golding direction. He's caught by Bennett. Kept it moving. Carmichael dispossessed. Nash flicked the handball back inside. They're able to lock it in.
Just numbers to the footy, North. Every contest they seem to have equal amount, if not one more than Kingborough. They're hungry. They can smell the opportunity to put them away.
Clifford through traffic, gets his kick away, drifting towards the goals. Was it touched on the line just?
Geez, AFL, that would go upstairs.
We'd be having a look.
I tell you, that AFL, we would be paused right now. We wouldn't be doing a thing. We'd be looking up at the big screen. Great call.
Rocky Mitchell, I think it was, who got the decisive touch in the end. Saves the day. 35 points. Short kick to Cox Goodyear. Cox Goodyear just slows things down, then punches a low dart, which was dropped in the end by Simpson, able to go back in, gather. Kick down the line, just over the head, though, of his teammate, but still out behind, though, was Ahern. Able to gather. Give it back to Avent. Simpson. Ahern. Now Stingle. Fast feet from Stingle. Can he find a target? Not quite. Forced to defend there was Godomski, and defended well indeed as he brings down Declan Chuck.
Just a bit easy there, I reckon. You can see North Lonnie linking up well, and the nous to put the ball out in front of their teammate, but Kingborough looking a bit like witches' hats there, just sort of standing around, not getting hard tag on or a hard man on.
Leary couldn't quite gather, enables Clifford to blast it clear of the contest through the hands of Evans. Man Shandon releases the handball out to Avent. Avent into the pocket. Tigers with the numbers. Couldn't complete the mark, Brereton. Handball to Cox Goodyear from the impossible angle. Bradley Cox Goodyear with a piece of magic. And it's 41 points the lead for the Bombers. Their star veteran showing he is still one classy operator. It's been a dream quarter this for the Bombers. They might just have sealed the game already.
Yeah, dream quarter. You're absolutely right. Making the most of their opportunities. He hasn't worried about that little incident in the second quarter, Brad, where he may very well be in a little bit of strife with a head-high touch. He's been on fire this quarter. Set up a couple of goals, and that on the replay is a ripper. Every single bloke on the ground of his teammates gets to him as he comes for a spell.
You know it's your day when you're slotting goals like that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of revenge for last year's grand final defeat. Obviously won't make up for losing a grand final, but they're positioning themselves very well for this final TSL flag early days in this season, the Bombers. This is a level they've had that the Tigers just haven't been able to go with them. They've upped it in this third quarter. They have blasted them away. 41 points now the lead. It was 10 at half time. Van Doom gave the handball to Stingle. It's going to have to come back though. 5-2 to 1 behind so far this quarter. Some class here as they work it towards College. Skeen, I think, just lost track of the football in the air. Mitchell on hands and knees. Somehow Bennett comes away with it. Skeen locks him up. Umpire says, I'll have it.
Went for the fend off, took him on a bit, took the Skeen on. I reckon a bit lucky there. Oh, that's a free kick out the back, isn't it? You can't grab a jumper and sling him round. And
Shandon taken down off the ball. Certainly thought it. He might come away with it anyway. Applies a tackle on Webb. And ball from Stingle to Avent, and Bennett sees it over.
Well, they need one here. Goes without saying. 41 points down all of a sudden in this third quarter. 18 minutes in. Got to give themselves some sort of hope to get a run on in the last quarter to find their way back into it.
And he managed 4 goals for the afternoon. Carter, handball, a good one to Lovell, and he's missed it. Right of the mark. 4 goals, 8. In the state of the game, you simply had to have that.
Yeah, that's the pressure from North Lonnie, though. He didn't have a man on him. He didn't have pressure. He had way more time, but it's been the sentiment of the day. They've got the ball, and it's been hot.
Van Dam spreads it wide to Griffiths. It's in the full width of the oval here at the moment, the Bombers, and then just working harder at the moment, peeling off here. Bailey Mitchell's stolen a march forward, and he sends them towards Leary, who takes the mark. Wonderful moving the football down the line. That's just a key defender there, and Mitchell just saying, I'm going to run hard, get ahead of the football here, and get out the back.
Yeah, great passage of play. That's been the difference, hasn't it? They've been able to do this a few times, North Lonnie, where they just work hard, put themselves in good positions, good skills, great usage of the footy. Kingborough haven't been able to do that today. Enough, anyway.
Leary, it's been well held as he sends this one across the face. Another behind for Leary. And 7. The Bombers tally, 41 points the lead as we tick towards red time in the third term. 5-0 quarter. Tigers, clear defensive 50. Aganis, Bennett through his hands. Scoop the handball to the outside. Lovell sends it around the corner for Skeen.
Been good, Lovell.
Skeen squares it up. That's a risky kick. Invites all sorts of danger. Sulzberger breaks it up. Gave the handball. And Shandon, Clifford. Ashland goes in for the hard ball, and Aganis just sits on top of him.
Gee, there's a likeliness of that sort of kick coming off. Isn't quite the one you want to bite off, again, especially against a side like North Lonnie.
Aganis, Cox Goodyear through the stoppage, couldn't take it. Crashing and bashing was Ashland, but Sulzberger, who's had a fantastic third quarter, has a hold of him. Slapped over by College. Doesn't clear the area. They'll go once more. College. Sulzberger, another tackle. All just with repeat stoppages. Attacking side of the centre square for the Bombers. And well in their keeping at the moment. College again won the hit out, but followed up, couldn't quite clear the area. Eventually Ashland gets a kick out of the congestion. Evans couldn't quite take the mark, but he got it back to the outside, just losing his footing there, Salter. And then Bennett got it to Van Dam. Van Dam for Aganis. Ball use has been good from the Bombers this quarter. Aganis chips it sideways, found Nash. Nash able to just run free and send them deep. Leary again. Well done, Clifford got a fist in. Griffiths bustling through. Godomski got it to Ashland. Golding through the middle of the ground. Golding. He sends it wide. A couple of numbers out here in space. Bennett with a couple opposing him. They link it up nicely to Lovell. Lovell looks to draw a man to him. Then handball to Evans. Evans gave it back. Now the chip into the pocket. And Carter couldn't quite take the mark. Lockie Mitchell doing well.
Well, they moved it so quick out of there, Kingborough. You'd think they would have had their forwards would have found some space or got a one up on the North Launceston defender, but yeah, they just sort of held it at the 50 and were a little bit unsure what to do with it there, and then us ended up kicking to just a one-on-one, and they get the boundary thrown with another opportunity, but you wonder what's going array there in the forward line.
Garnis and Carter. Carter took it out of the ruck, got his kick away to the teeth of goal. Spoil landed into the path of Golding, who gets it on the boot and kicks a goal. Well, they needed that one. It was Zeitzen, in fact. The umpires are going to conference and make sure there wasn't a touch. There wasn't. So they get their first of the third term. A badly needed goal that just to stem the bleeding for the Tigers.
Yeah, stem the bleeding all right. I think it was Theo Ives went up with a big spoil, and unfortunately, if you're going to have a crack at that and look to pound the ball out of Kingston, then you've got to get it, and he missed it and just allowed Kingborough forward in the right spot there, just to pop one through.
I was right the first time. Yeah, the 11 and the 17 just throwing me off there as they celebrated. It was Golding. Well done. Needed it.
Well, they absolutely needed it. Red time now in the third term. Obviously a really strong lead for North Lonnie, but Kingborough are certainly not in a position where they want to give up, but they'd love another one or two real quick ones for a bit of late belief.
Can't afford to miss about as Clifford couldn't quite catch the boot with that. Nash back to Sulzberger by hand. Fell into the path of Nash. Jake Nash up towards half forward. Took a kind bounce for Cox Goodyear. Then he flicked it across to Leary. Was so clean. Can he apply the finish, Brandon Leary? He can. What a goal that is from Leary. He's been well held all afternoon, but in the blink of an eye, he shows his class. And an immediate response that's got to be so deflating for the Tigers.
Yeah, it is. Just when I said they just want a little bit of late belief. But how good was that? Most players would lose possession of the ball or panic a little bit and give a handball over the top to just absolutely nowhere. Yeah, just real class there. Weaved around 2 or 3 and bang. Knows where the goals are. Contest in the middle too from Gardner as well. Ball 50-50. He's a big man. Needed him to really push through and present himself in the contest, but he missed that and allowed North Lonnie to just freely move it forward again.
So back to the middle. Was back on the game. Clifford applying some pressure on Nash. And ball to Webb. Now, spread wide. Set a task here is Golding. Just holds up and then spots a hard-working Max College. Takes the mark tight to the line, gets up, gets it moving quickly. Plucked by Salter. Salter again will move it quickly. They pump it in deep. Tyler Carter and Ives. Ives drapes all over him. Oh, Simpson coughed it up, then one back with a hard tackle. The snap on goal is across the face. Won't trouble the scorers. Brewer just slapped it on the boot there.
Yeah, College and Salter, good to see. A couple of good marks, good passage of play, moving it forward, getting it in there. They had a 2-on-1 there. Probably should have given the handball out the back there for an easier slot on goal. Took him on. They lose possession.
Called the play on. They'll drive it deep out of defence. Dropping the mark, though, was Griggs. Nash did well. They work it out the back to Manshandon. Manshandon towards Harvey Griffiths. Cleverly paddles it on for Chug. Across to deal with him is Baker.
Umpire, get out of the way.
Humpy getting involved. The numbers favour the Tigers. Now Griffiths interjects. He sharks the football. Arches the back. Goes back to Sam Simpson. His kick was charged down, though. Well done by Brewer. And Brewer sees it out of play. Simpson gives him a shove for his troubles.
I don't think I've seen a man, unlike Griffiths, handball the ball harder than anyone that plays the game. He can be a metre away from his teammates and he says, hello, catch this. Just bullets everything, but he goes a million miles an hour at everything. Good player.
Yeah, one of those classy medium-sized forwards they've got at their disposal. That's quite the potent group. Here in Chug.
Bit of Waitman about him, I reckon, the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I can see that as the Tigers
the way he goes about it.
Get it out the back to Tyler Carter. It's opened up behind the play here for Carter. Carter tried to sell a little candy. Sold himself, sold some more. Call him the candy man, Tyler Carter. He can't finish it with a goal, though. It didn't have the journey. Getting back was Bailey Mitchell. Jeez, he was selling candy to everyone, including himself there, Tyler Carter.
Slippery hands, and then I thought the Skeet was going to go back with a flight and take a ripper, but he didn't. Just a real teasing moment there.
40 points to the margin as Mitchell takes it in the back pocket. Here's it up towards the wing, almost into the lap of Lee. Ashland's handball, a teammate under pressure, Chug, with a vice-like tackle.
Still a real hunger from North Lonnie, isn't there? You can just tell, like, that tackle, they're 40 points up. Happy to give Kingborough a shove, push him out of the way.
Webb was quick onto that one. Handball back towards Golding. Webb was ready to receive on the outside. The handball over his head. He's able to go in and get it all the same, though. Then he sends it towards the goal. Skeen!
Skeen, what a mark.
He takes it. Hasn't had his best day today, Colin Skeen, but has an opportunity for a goal here.
I think I called him Skeet a moment ago. I apologise for that. It's course, the Skeeny nearly gave us a ripping highlight in round 1. Give us a big mark or a good goal.
He kicked this one. Doesn't improve the angle too much. Doesn't matter. Matter of factly slots it through. They get their second of the quarter and cut the margin back to 34 points.
That was a casual finish, wasn't it? Given the context of the game. Of course, you want to hurry and get it through and, as I said, get a bit of that belief back. But he just one step, bang. It's a bit of a casual operator.
You get so used to having kind of opening up the angle in that situation these days. It kind of almost looks strange when someone just goes and kicks a drop punch straight back over the man of the mark's head.
Yeah, going back 10 years, no one ever was looking to improve that angle. It happens, as you say, all the time, so it looks unusual when someone doesn't do it. But a little bit of a fight back here from Kingborough. Obviously, the margin out to 6 or 7 goals is a big one, closing in at the end of the third term.
Lee want it down, Stingle onto it in a flash. As Sulzberger in support, just props and then sends it high into the forward 50. Shug gave a good fist of it, couldn't quite bring it down. Lovell along the outer wing he goes and finds a marking target in Brewer.
He's had a lot of ball, Lovell. He's been good. They'd be grateful for him today. He's been that one, been able to get his hands on the ball and give their team an opportunity.
He's just lacked a little support at times. Mitchell read that one well, spiked it away. There's the siren for three-quarter time. So the Tigers kicked 2 of the final 3 of the term. But the damage was done in the first 20 minutes. In a 10-minute period there, the Bombers hit the accelerator, kicked 5 goals, and they lead this one by 34 points at the final change.
Yeah, as you say, 10 minutes of damage. They just went bang, bang, bang. Brad Cox, Goodyear, Chug, they just kicked goals all over the place, and they've made it hard for themselves, Kingborough, allowing North Launceston to have a patch like that. And we were only talking about it prior, that no side had really had a run on where they'd gone bang, 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 and North Lonnie did, and almost put the game out of reach. Hard to see Kingborough coming back from this, but they wouldn't want to let that happen again. End up losing at home by a 10-goal margin is something that they would not want this early on in the season. So still a lot to play for Kingborough heading into the three-quarter time break.
Yeah, certainly they wouldn't want to be copping a hiding on their home ground to a side. It feels like they're probably inevitably going to meet in September at some point if they're going to make a run at it. Could leave some scars, but the Bombers, was a mighty impressive third quarter from them. 10 points the margin at halftime. In the blink of an eye, it was 41 points. That was as good a period as we've seen from either side in the game, and perhaps for just about from anyone this season. The Bombers, they just had no answers there, the Tigers, in that period.
No, they didn't, and that's why North Lonnie are the force to be reckoned with. And, they've been so dominant for so many years, but this season, we knew coming in that it's top of the table clash, but we knew that North Lonnie, we both said at the start, were a very powerful side with a lot of wonderful players out there, and they definitely showed that in that third quarter. And as you say, one of the best passages or periods of play for that 10 or so minutes that we've seen this season. So a dominant performance. Big last turn coming up.
See if the Tigers can come from the clouds or whether the Bombers finish the job. 34 points the lead at the final change. We'll be back shortly with quarter number 4. So back for the final quarter at the Twin Ovals. 34 points the lead for the Northern Bombers. Outstanding third quarter from them. And Mitch McPherson and the Tigers, they've got to just about be perfect to be any chance from here on out.
Yeah, they do. And unfortunately, they haven't been perfect for the best part of the day, so it'll take something very, very special. But as we said, a lot to play for. And things like this, games like today, stick in your mind. And as you said, it's a long season, but you get down here in a final later in the end, you remember and have those scars as to what happened, so a lot to play for.
So we're underway in the final term. The Bombers going to finish this one off. The Tigers need early goals to be any hope coming from the clouds here. Clifford burrowing in there. It's battled hard. Certainly been a midfield battle won by the Bombers today.
Tight.
High contact free kick. Some opportunity for Baker. Send them inside, forward 50. Puts it out in front of Gardner, who plucks it. A chance for an ideal start. Good ball use from Baker.
Yeah, Baker under man in the ruck there. Probably fortunate in that instance, being a bit short of getting the high, but the high free kick. Turns around and drills it to his mate that's been doing the majority of the ruck work today. So nice little change there from Kingborough. And first one will be important. You just never know.
If there any chance, they need to be taking all their opportunities. Can experienced Marcus Gardner get them an early goal here in the final term. Kicking just inside the 50. And he hangs it out to the right. It started to work back, but never enough. 6 goals, 10 the Tigers.
Yeah, that's a bit of a dampener. That would have been nice. Would have been a good start. Just gives everyone that little bit of belief that you need, but he never gave that a chance. He looks a bit knackered, Gardner. I saw him late in the third. He's had a big day.
Tough match out with Alex Lee for much of the afternoon as this one spills out the back. Clifford scoops a handball, almost picked off by Nash. Zeitzen went in, won it. Handball from Baker. Umpire's whistle goes. Yeah, hold paid there for a kick going the way of Baker. Moved it quickly to Zeitzen. Zeitzen just launching it. Numbers favour the Bombers here. Bennett came across, couldn't get this on ball. Spills out the back. Bale's happy to just walk it over.
It's been that kick, hasn't it, from Kingborough most of the day, just bombing it down there. And the North Fonty defenders, they're so experienced at getting over there and getting numbers and making it a real tough contest. And Kingborough have still just persisted on bombing it down there.
Lee palms it down. Cox Goodyear first to the fall of the ball. Under no pressure, he's able to just ease it out of defence. But again, it's Baker behind the ball, taking the intercept. His third touch in the opening moments of this quarter as he drives them inside 50 once more. Gardner draws a crowd. Bennett spiked it down. Ducking under was Salter. Handed it across there to Ashland. His kick was run down. College, one-on-one with Mitchell. In the end, it's across the line. He must have paid insufficient intent there against Max College, has he? Seen a couple of them today.
Yeah, we have. He did look a bit guilty, College. He sort of looked up and looked straight up, you know, when you might be in a bit of strife. So we might have known deep within, but...
The intention's written on his face, perhaps.
Absolutely.
As Donnelly steps up, sends it across and finds Gardner again, who'll have another opportunity, a slightly tougher kick this one. And he do what he failed to do a couple of minutes ago.
I'd be getting on the line if I was a North Lonnie defender or Kingborough forward. It looked like he had a bit of a heavy legs. He's been working hard all day, Gardner. Didn't kick through it in the last one, so... But again, another important opportunity. They've had a lot of the ball this fourth term, and they just need that scoreboard hit to build a bit of pressure.
So the big ruck sends it on its way once more. It's a better looking kick this time, and it carries the journey. So they do get the first goal of the final term, the Tigers. They cut the margin back to 27 points. And if there were any chance, it was a goal they simply had to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Made the most of that opportunity. Gardner is moving back down now to go back into the ruck. But I liked him forward. He had a presence there that 4 minutes of this final term. They looked for him. He took a couple of nice marks, a couple of shots on goal. So it's back into the middle here. We'll see how he goes. But liked him down forward.
I suppose the concern is then...
Who else?
Who have you got to match up with Alex Lee, who did so much damage to them in that second quarter? You're kind of forced to play Zeitzen or College in there. Lee'd be licking his lips in that matchup, but
good tap.
The Tigers to take it out the middle again. Zeitzen just been put behind the ball a little here at the moment. College. Lovell's kick was a poor one. Straight to Harvey Griffiths. They can make them pay here. Wheels round. Finds Jack Avent. He's happy to run some seconds off the clock and think his way through this one. See if he opts for goal or just set it up at the top of the square. Jack Avent. Plays on. Sends it on its way to the line. Jack Avent. What a kick that is. And he might just have iced this one. A thumping drive from 50. And it's back out to 33 points. And as they have had all afternoon, Mitch McPherson, it's the Bombers with the answers.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time Kingborough's gone bang, hasn't taken North Lonnie to drive it back up the other end and then hit the scoreboard again. But when he went back from there, I thought, hello, it's a big kick so late in the game. Heavy legs, bit of a heavy deck down there, but no issues for events. Just went back and slotted it nicely. And as you say, puts it out of reach a little bit further for Kingborough, 6 minutes into the final term.
33 points the margin as Event gets on the board. Here's Ashland. Van Dam has a hold of him. Just got his kick away in time. Golding out ahead of Sulzberger, pressured by Nicholas. Now back inside. Baker will drive them in. Oh, straight through their hands there. Probably should have marked that one. Now a chance for Kerr. He's wrapped up. Just got it away, but he coughed it up. Fell to Gardner, slaps it on the boot. Gardner floating one. Carter there trying to receive from Evans, couldn't quite. And then Carter comes over the top of Nash. It's across the line.
Geez, that's dropping it cold. And then being held in the contest there as the ball flew in forward 50. Disappointed with that Kingborough not to have it go their way. Correct disposal again, looking at the replay.
So back in, Carter and Lee. Lee won it down for Cox Goodyear. He gets one over the shoulder. So, a wily veteran from the back pocket. Influential again this afternoon. Great game sense, Cox Goodyear. Suits himself on the contest when his team needs a lift, but they've coughed this one up and it falls to Lockie Clifford. And Lockie Clifford floats one through the middle. Wasn't the purest contact, but the direction was true. And they get their second of the final quarter to cut it back to 27.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision there with a couple of North Lonnie players. As he does, Cox Goodyear moves the ball well, but a little bit of a worm burner, and they were a bit unsure as to who to go for it, and it just spills out, and yeah, he makes the most of it. Good finish. And I like that, the celebration and a bit of noise. A few players getting around him.
Well, they might as well keep taking the game on.
That's right. Five goals now.
You don't take risks, you're going to lose the game anyway. I mean, there's not too much difference between 20 and 40 points at the end of it.
That's exactly right. Feel they're building a slight bit of momentum. That goal hurt them a moment ago from North Lonnie, but they've got to get the next one.
And they string goals together. It's been an issue for them. The Bombers have had the answers all afternoon. Event over the top for Lee,
Here
working nicely with Van Dam. That combo has been outstanding today. And now Kerr will send them deep forward. Looking for Chug from the side. Gadomski, Griffiths lurking. Diving on top of it was 4. Then Gadomski lays the tackle. Stripped his man. Won it across Clifford now to Donnelly. Donnelly with a composed kick. And he finds a marking target in Golding. Got them moving quickly. Did well to College. College plays on to half forward.
Oh.
All on his lonesome is Gardner. He's got Carter on his own in the square. And Carter goes back and gets another one. And they're back within 21 points, the Tigers. They're making a push.
Oh, what a ball game. Here they come. But how good was that movement from defence? The final line of defence. And they're playing, as you said, they're 5 goals down, but they played like they were 100 points up right then. That's what you got to do, that fear-free footy. Moved it beautifully. North Lonnie had no answers with the amount of pace that Kingborough had behind the movement of that footy. And that's what happens. Bang, bang, over the top. Free man in the goal square. Game on.
Yeah, left Ives with 2 to deal with. You had Gardner and Carter. In the end, can't stand them both. Did well there. College, I think, just snuck off the bench to get involved in that play.
Yeah, smart.
Did it nicely. So back within 21. They're close enough if they're good enough. It would take a mighty effort as Clifford sends them forward towards Skeen.
Got to be clean.
He's battling with Mitchell here. Just towed it forward off the
well
deck
done.
into the pocket. This time it will be thrown in.
There wouldn't have been many times today back-to-back goals for Kingborough. So take an enormous amount of confidence there in the way they move that. You just got to set a bit of panic in for North Lonnie. You've got to make them have that little bit of doubt in their mind that Kingborough are coming. And the next one, there's still 15-odd minutes in this game left. Get the next one. They're right back in it.
Lee palms it down. Nicholas.
It's been good, Nicholas.
To Stingle, and Stingle was assured to find it to Avent. Been busy in this last quarter. That's a wonderful kick to Sulzberger. The blade. Just switch it out to man Shandon.
Oh, no.
I thought he had it. Spent it before he had it. Then towed it off the deck. That was clever. Opportunity on the run here to drive it through. And maybe that will be the one that ices it. Bailey Mitchell sneaks forward. They get the steadier. And they're back out by 27.
Yeah, that hurts, doesn't it? All their big names, Stilsberger, they all got involved, linked up, good passage of play. That's what you wanted. You want the ball in the hands of the Stars, and they just continue to find a way.
I'm not sure if it's conditions have eased up or whether it's just tired bodies meaning the defensive structures aren't the same, but I feel there's been a lot more flow and the sides have moved the ball a lot easier in this final term.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like the wind may have died down a little bit. And allows for that free-flowing footy. It's been good footy. It's been an entertaining last term, but geez, that hurts Kingborough. 2 in a row, then North Lonnie hit it again.
So far down, they had no margin for error on this comeback, and the Bombers might be looking to quickly slam the door shut. Sulzberger cusses himself there as he put that one wide. It was a good opportunity.
Yeah, he did. And he had Griffiths on in the goal square, in the pocket too, calling out to him.
Riggs drives it out of defence. Fell to Ashland, scooped the handball back inside. Zeitzen took a man on, dropped it. Umpire says play on. Nicholas goes back in. Fell now for Lovell. He screws a kick round the corner. Back with the flight was Lockie Mitchell. He takes the tumbling mark. As Sulzberger at half forward goes a little further afield. What a mark that is from Ahern. Strong hands. Clunks the pack mark beautifully.
Yeah, not sure who it was on the mark there, but he was more manning the outside of the ground. You got to watch who. I think it was Carmichael there on the mark. You got to watch what's happening there. He's just manning the outside of the ground and allowed him just to run straight through the middle, and allowed his forward to jump up and take a nice mark. Been good, Ahern.
See if he can finish off his work here. It was a strong mark from Jack Ahern. He'll go back to extend the lead back out to 34. It's drifting across the face, just to behind. And Godomski carries it out and then sends it up the wing. The early fly came from Baker. Bale's able to take the mark.
Kick.
Got it moving quickly, but he'll have to go again.
I think he took his teammate in front of him was given a free kick, so it had to go back to the correct man.
Sam Simpson's just peeled off on his own here, half forward. Kicked in that vicinity, not sure that's where he's really aiming. Got under the kick a little. Sulzberger in there, Lovell drops it in. Brereton wrapped up by Sulzberger. Lee slapped it beautifully to Griffiths. Griffiths shooting from the tight angle. That was always against him. Need an even 5 goals. With no time to waste. Godomski drives it on out of there. Towering mark is taken by Connor Salter, who's off. In the end, forced into an awkward kick to Carter. And the boundary line beats him.
But I wonder what he didn't like up the ground, because that's what you need to do. That's, as you've said, there's not long to go. You just got to go, and he took that step and then stalled. You'd hope that his forwards were flowing, that they were giving an opportunity for the ball to come in. But, yeah, that stagnant, that stop, and then the missed kick kills the momentum.
Baker and Lee once more. Lee won it down into the middle for Stingle. Stingle has some time and space to assess and drives it deep. Out the back is Chug. He's kicked 4. He couldn't gather that one. The handball eventually worked across the line.
Oh, he could have had a 5-pack there. He missed it. It was another little gift. Just wasn't ready for it.
Donnelly
2-on-1.
kicking to a 2-on-1. That was ill-advised. Lovell comes in to provide some support. Did really well from ground level there. Lovell. Baker brought down by Lee. And pinged holding the footy. Just took too long to get rid of it.
Yeah, he did. He got the handball in the end, but he'd done a 360.
Lee, however, has picked out Riley Ashland. And now Webb coasting through the corridor. He drives it to half forward. Gardner, nothing ahead of him, and he dropped it into the lap there of Mitchell. Well, Ives, rather. He scooped a handball over the top. Simpson gathered the football, gave it to Kerr. Head down, he charges forward, gives it to Harvey Griffiths. Griffiths balked, tried to take on the tackler Brewer. Sent him to the deck. Clifford, round the corner, tumbles one. Gathered miscontrol, but then it fell to Skeen. Skeen just slaps it on the boot ahead of the play. Had absolutely nothing there. Drifting into the space was Mitchell Nicholas. He marks and switches up to Bo Nash. Nash, Bo to Nash, Jake. The brothers combine. Ahern sends it in the Leary direction. He just runs out of room.
Yeah, that momentum that they were building, you feel like it's just been zapped out of the game now.
Almost probably only needed 1 goal in the final term. They've kicked 2. Here's Van Dam. Webb picked his pocket. Keep a hold of the football though. Van Dam goes back in, wins it.
Just he's got poise, Van Dam, doesn't he?
He's a fantastic young player, and there is Jack Event drifting in front to take another mark. Yeah, been super impressed by Van Dam. Plenty of talk about him heading into the game, leading disposal getter in the competition. You can see why. He just works himself to the ball at those contests, and he seems to win it more often than not.
Yeah, he does. Just seems to have a lot more time than anyone else out there. And a good decision maker with ball in hand as well.
And Nicholas found Event, who'll go back from 40 out, sends it its way offline again. 14-12 now, the Bombers, 32 points the lead. Result settled by this point. Donnelly will just thump it down the middle in the Gardner direction. Boyle came from behind from Bailey Mitchell. Spilled out to Nash. Nash handball to Cox Goodyear. Faked the handball, then slapped it on the boot. Sent it high inside the forward 50. Clifford couldn't quite juggle the mark and ran into trouble. And he would have felt that one.
That's a dangerous tackle, is it?
Jack Ahern, that was a dangerous tackle. The umpire adjudged, and they play on quickly to Lockie Clifford. The bodies separate themselves.
A couple of little melees around the ground happening.
The Bombers forward line there as this one is down the line, punched away. Brereton spun out of trouble. Kick from Brewer, lacking direction. Square and kick for Bo Nash. Been prolific once more today. As is this man, the Blade. Sulzberger plays on. A man in plenty of space. They drive it forward towards bench event. He swung it back to Lee. Lee slams it on the boot. Chug! Takes front position, takes the mark. He can go back for number 5.
Takes front position. That was a wobbler off the boot. But again, he's had one of those days, Chug. I don't think he hit the scoreboard in the third. Maybe he did, but he's been all over Kingborough today. He's had a day out, kicking 4. Here's for a 5-pack. Just a nice one that just landed in his chest late in the game. You'd be happy with that.
Chug slots it through for his 5th of the afternoon. He says, get around me, boys. He knows this is a big result for his side. They've come down the highway and they have fair smacked the defending premiers. A little bit of revenge for last September. And they have well and truly asserted themselves as the team to beat this year, the Bombers.
Yeah, competition statement today. It was up for grabs. Certainly a lot up for grabs with top-of-the-table clashes so early on in the season. But, yeah, they've been dominant. Had patches from Kingborough, but North Lonnie all over the ground. And as we've said, their stars today have had moments and stood up. And when you have someone like Chug pop up and kick 5, very, very handy. And not handy for Kingborough.
Yeah, they've managed to shut down the dangerous Brandon Leary. Instead, it's been 5 goals from Chug. They've just got so many weapons. Sulzberger on the end of this one. And given the start of the game, he'd be well within his rights just to go back and see if he can get himself a sausage.
Yeah, it's all that's missing from his game today. He's been great. Set them up so well. Had so much of the footy. Great skills. Good decision maker with the footy in hand. The scoreboard, why not?
Yeah, I've loved his game this afternoon.
I mean, this is a concern for all other sides, isn't it? That North Lonnie can come down and do this to Kingborough at Twin Ovals.
Certainly put the competition on notice. Blade Sulzberger, a big part of that to cap off a wonderful day. I think he's got the journey. He does. He extends the lead to 44 points. What a performance from this man, the Blade. And a week ago, they dismantled Clarence. This week, they've done the same to the Tigers. They beat Lauderdale away early in the season. They've already claimed scalps of all their big rivals for the flag this year. They are looking ominous.
Yep, they sure are. There's not much more to add to that. They look very, very ominous. And funny, with the North-South rivalry, you have a bit of confidence when North Lonnie travel down and you feel you get them at home. But as I said, this is a big message to the competition. No matter where they are, they're a force to be reckoned with.
It's been a mighty impressive display. Lee thumped that one clear. Gardner paddled it across to Clifford. Couldn't gather cleanly. And forced to lay a tackle on Stingle. Lee slapped it over the top. Golding drives them forward once more. Salter couldn't quite take the mark. Off hands to Nicholas. Nicholas to Nash. Nash drew the man, then fired the handball back out to Nicholas, who continued the run.
What a kick.
Lovely kick to find Sulzberger. Sulzberger, he's got a man at half forward in Avent. Spots him up. And Avent will then just trip chip it over the top to Harvey Griffiths. Superb ball movement from the Bombers. One end of the ground to the other they go. And Griffiths can go back and make it a 50-point ball game.
Yeah, we love him, Griffiths, and I'll tell you one thing about him, when he gets the ball inside 50, he does not look to give it off. He was straight back. He couldn't have marched back any quicker to have a shot. Loves hitting the scoreboard.
Always hungry for goals, Harvey Griffiths. Can he drive through another one? On this occasion, off hands for a behind. So Donnelly from fullback. He's defensive 50. Shifting in from the side. Couldn't quite take the mark, College. Skeen. Looked a handball out. College reeled it in. Clifford shrugging a couple. Strength through the hips there, but the Bombers win the ball back. Griffiths. And it looks like Stingle has just been stung for a free kick there on Clifford off the ball. Wrestling. Clifford. Entering ball. Finds Riley Ashland. Ashland faked out Cox Goodyear and then just guided one up towards Golding. Couldn't find him. Plenty of Bombers now swoop. Clifford applies a tackle on Kerr. Got his handball away. Nash. Ugly looking kick to Ashland. He sends it back over the top. Clifford. Skeen. Is that 15? Umpire's whistle didn't go.
Oh, no.
And Skeen called to play on. Golding weaving one way, then the other, then fires off a shot. And that rather sums things up for the Tigers.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, was it? You're right, sums it up for them. Things just haven't gone their way, but it's hard to do when you're playing a team like North Lonnie. Simple as that.
Yep, skill errors have been there. A lot of it has been brought about by relentless pressure from these Bombers. Long ball, spoiling his own man there, and it fell to Nash. Flipped it over the top for Stingle. Stingle spied the run of Ahern. He goes back to the outside. Event got caught, and he's caught holding the footy. Joey Brewer with some strength. Long to half forward. Spoil came from Bennett. Ash dives in. Merging with the football, that was Carmichael. He'll have to go in again. Nicholas was in there. Ball up. Tight to the boundary line. Oh, Siren might be too far away in this one. The Northern Bombers, 45 points ahead. Another emphatic performance. Lee palmed it down through the legs of Webb, paddled it across to Ashland, just kept the ball ahead of him, Ashland. Eventually wrapped up by Chugg. Skeen can't gather, Nicholas did. Handball to the outside. Harvey Griffiths went back, set a task for Bennett. Knocked it across to Griffiths. Griffiths tumbles an ugly kick straight out of play.
There's a lot out on the full out that side of this ground, isn't there?
Yeah, wind obviously a factor, I suppose, in keeping things tight there, but you do see a lot more of it at this ground than any other, and almost another one in return there. The kick straight to Griffiths, whose kick was spoiled by Zeitzen. He'll get another attempt at it. No, he won't. Bennett was caught over the shoulder. He retreats to fullback. Mitchell sweeping out. Golding surely in the back there. He leapt early. Has to be a free kick.
I was unsure if it was that or it could also, he did pause, whether it's the block sometimes or the dangerous, allowing someone to lose their legs, but back paid.
Bailey Mitchell gave it to Simpson. Weaves onto the right. Get across to Nash.
Good ball movement.
Continue to chain the handballs together nicely here. Mitchell spots up Kerr. Just thought their way through it. And ends up the ball in the hands of Jacob Kerr.
Well, you could forgive them for so late in the game and the lead they've got for taking their foot off the pedal, but they continue to move it nicely. Their skills are sharp, running in the lines that they need to, that a good team does to get the results that they keep on achieving. They keep doing it.
Yeah, just working a little harder than the Tigers here in the final quarter still. As Kerr quite catch that one right. Griffiths in front.
Loves a snag.
Didn't take the mark. Didn't matter. He snaps it over his shoulder. Snaps truly. And it's 51 points. in favour of the Bombers. Harvey Griffiths with a classy finish. The day out continues for the Bombers. Nicely done from Harvey Griffiths.
Yeah, he just wheels himself on, doesn't he? He loves, as we said a moment ago, he loves kicking a goal, but until he'd love winning too, I reckon. He just gives his all from the get-go, always in the game. So late in it now, 28 minutes in the last quarter, and still willing himself on, putting his body on the line. Good player.
Lee palmed it down, straight though to Clifford. And across to Lovell. Lovell high and wide, and there was Jake Nash. Slotted in nicely today as Nash.
Yeah, he's been handy.
Chips it short to Bennett. Quite happy just to chip this one around and see the game out, perhaps the Bombers. Job done for them. Bennett drops the chest mark under some pressure.
Freaky.
In the end, the tackle lingers a little and he gets out of jail. And there is the final siren. Another impressive statement from the Northern Bombers. They come down the highway and claim another big scalp in the grand final rematch. They have smacked the Tigers to the tune of 51 points. And there is no doubt who the team to beat is in 2024. A thumping victory from the Bombers, who continue to sweep all before them in the first half here of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said, a competition statement. They become a scary prospect now if they weren't already heading into today. But, I mean, you and I gave Kingborough a little bit of belief there at the start of the term that if they got it off on their terms and kicked a couple, they were back in it. But we should have known that North Lonnie aren't going to take the foot off the pedal. They were always going to stay in this game. They know how important it is to get wins like this on the road and to assert their dominance on the competition and to scare the bejesus out of everyone moving forward. So they are a big prospect going forward with not too much to worry about. Probably the Goodyear incident will be something that they'll be talked about after the game. But other than that, not too much to worry about. They were dominant all over the ground.
Yeah, huge victories and already have a potential top four rivals, winning 2 on the road. The Clarence victory was obviously a very impressive performance, but I reckon those road wins real gold in terms of getting yourself home field for finals. They've put themselves in a very good spot with this first 6 weeks of the season. And 51 points the final margin. Before we end up here today, Mitch, I'll get you to run through who you thought the better players on the day were.
Yeah, mostly dominant from North Lonnie, of course. I thought Sulzberger, of course, was dominant all over the ground. Him and Van Dam, they work the ball beautifully together. They're always poised and use it beautifully. Griffiths up forward was busy, of course. Chug with 5 goals. Stingle through the middle as well. And the other one, Mitchell Nicholas off half-back. I thought he was... he was half-back, half-forward at times, but he's just got a lot of class, and I liked he took some big marks in some really important moments of the game. So they were probably my handful for North Lonnie. Kingborough Lovell, of course, he's always good. Gets a lot of the footy. College was important at stages in the ruck at times and in the middle for Kingborough, of course. Godomski, Clifford, Ashland had moments as well, but yeah, hard to stand out when you're up against that class midfield for North Lonnie. Of course, Goodyear as well. Cox Goodyear, we didn't mention him. He had big moments, kicked probably goal of the game as well, down in the forward pocket. So dominant game by North Lonnie all over the field.
Well, there you have it from the Twin Ovals. A thumping win for the Northern Bombers. They are looking the goods in season 2024. We'll be back next week for round 7 in the TSL. But from Andrew Cooling and Mitch McPherson, all the action here at the Twin Ovals, it's bye for now.